And it's something about your name, and we talked about last week how God will make your name great. And if you just keep on living, He said, I'll bless those that bless you. But if you just keep on living for God, God has a way of making your name great. And I think we'll get a little more about your name and how sometimes people think it's important to have a great name for folks. I may miss your name because I can't think of it real fast. I may be looking at Vanessa and call Renee. And I may be talking to him. But it's not whether I think your name is important or not. But if God sees and knows your name. Because whether I call your name or not, Brother Adrian, I want to hear somebody else call my name. And say, well done, thy good and faithful servant. And so today in our text today, Mark chapter 3. Mark is our first gospel writer recorded in the, that's not recorded, but many say Mark was written first. Even though it's not recorded in the canon first, many say Mark was written first. And some theologians say Matthew and Luke pulled from Mark and added to it. And he used a source called a Q source. I don't know which was written first. But God had a way of putting it in there. And because God put it there, He used men inspired by God to write these things. And He writes here in the 3rd chapter, around verse 13, and He goes up to a mountain and calleth unto him whom He would. And it came unto him, in verse 14, and ordained 12 that they should be with him, and that they might send them forth to preach, and to have power to heal sickness, and to cast out devils. And Simon, and he surnamed Peter, and James his son, the sons of Zebedee, and John the brother of James, and he surnamed him Barnabas, and in which he named the sons of thunder, and Andrew and Philip, and Bartholomew, and Matthew and Thomas, and James the son of Phileas, and Thaddeus, and Simon, and the Canaanite, and Judas Iscariot, which also betrayed him. And they went into an house. I just want to talk from the subject, how Jesus sees you. How Jesus sees you. How God really looks at you. God goes on a mountaintop and He calls these 12 men that we never really heard much of before, and many won't hear much after. But we look at our text today, I want to draw attention to Thaddeus. Look at Thaddeus. Don't talk about Thaddeus. You probably hadn't heard much about him. Nothing about him stands out in the Bible. No sermon probably been preached about him. In fact, I hadn't heard anybody talk much about Thaddeus. When we look at Thaddeus, he's identified as, in one gospel writer, according to Luke, Luke calls him Judas, not Iscariot. Matthew called him Lebanus, Matthew 10 and 3. John called him Judas, not Iscariot, and Judas, the brother of James. But Mark called him Thaddeus. And I want you to understand, regardless of how they called him, God had a use for him. He may not have been important to everybody else, but surely to God, God had a reason, because He saw something in him that others did not see. And many times you're waiting on your name to be called by the masses, waiting on folks to call your name, or you're checking your status, or you're looking for somebody to call your name, and they may never call your name. But how does God see you? That was called, when God went on the mountain, saw the multitude, out of all the people God could have called, it was something about that. And I stopped by to tell some of you that is here today, that people may have counted you out called you everything but a child of God, but I want you to know God still got some use for you. I want you to understand, I may not drive, I may not live where others live, I may not make what others make, but I'm a living witness that because I'm still here, God has some use for me. And I want you to understand that even though people may never give you your due justice, you got a God that loves you so much that he woke you up this morning. You got a God that loves you so much that he had provided for you when you couldn't provide for yourself. You got a God that loves you so much that when others overlook you, God will make a way for you. I wish I had about 10 people in the building. I'll make number 11 that was time your name should have been called and it went called. But later on down the line, God opened another door for you that was greater than the one that you thought you should have walked into. God knows your name. And so I want to give you 3 points here, and I'm going to holler and I'm going to sit down. Now, number 1, people may not know your name, but Jesus does. Now, nobody gonna get up and preach a revival on Thaddeus. He don't have any books in the Bible. Thaddeus is not like Peter preached a sermon where 3,000 souls were saved. Thaddeus is not like Paul leading millions of folks to Christ, but God sees something in him. People may never call your name, but I stopped by to tell about 20 of y'all here, you're not living for your status on Facebook. You're not living for people that like you on your job. You're living that one day God can call your name. You don't have anybody in the building say, I may not have Brazilian hair. I may not have a prominent pocketbook. May not drive a Mercedes. But when it's all over down here, I want God to call my name. That's why we sing. That's why we pray. That's why we trust God. And that's why we go through pain. That's why we go through sickness. Because we want a God to call our name. When they call our name out of sin, call our name out of trouble. I'm so glad that one day God decided to call our name. Anybody glad that God knows your name? People may never, some of y'all sit by somebody you don't even know. Look at them, tell them your name. Some of y'all still lying. Tell your name, they don't know. And they gonna forget in a few minutes. But when God knows your name, it's good to know that you, and see, everybody know God, but do God know you? Because some people only know God when you need him. Some people only know God when you want something from him. Some people don't know God when you're in trouble trying to get out. Some people only know God when you're sick bed. But I've got a few people here that say, I don't call him when I get sick. I don't call him when I need something. I don't call him when I'm in trouble. But I call him every morning. I call him in the noon. God already knows my name. And it was something about Thaddeus that God said, I'm going to call him out. When I look at the world news there in England, and our democracy is a little different. Prince Henry is the heir to the throne, but he got a brother named Prince Harry. Yeah. And they don't call him Prince Harry, they call him the Sparrow. Yeah. The Sparrow means he only gonna get something if something happened to his older brother. It's sad to live in the limelight of somebody before you. I want God to bless me because of me. That's why you got to stop trying to be like somebody else. Stop trying to dress like other folks. See, that stuff don't even match you. That wig don't even go with your complexion. That don't even match your body. Stop trying to be like everybody else and be who God called you to be. Because what God has for you is for you. You ain't got to try to please folk. Stop trying to impress folk that'll never like you. If you got a blessing with your name on it, they can laugh at you, they can talk about you, they can lie on you, they can scandalize your name, they can talk about your baby, they can talk about everything about it. But if God got a blessing with your name on it. So you may never know my name. But I'm so glad Jesus knows. Why calm down back there, sir? Y'all got some mismatched hair back there. And listen, You may can't afford what the folks down the road got. And you don't know what it took for them to get it. And you don't know what it takes for them to hold on to it. Just thank God got something with your name on it. Every job may not be your job. Every position may not be your position. But there's some stuff that God will call your name for. So number one, everybody may not know your name, but God knows. Number two, people may not recognize your worth, but God does. People probably never called Thaddeus. But Jesus saw something in Thaddeus that everybody else didn't see. I really don't know what it was, but God saw something in Thaddeus. And you got to understand, everything that Jesus sees is not the good that you see. Because we can paint a false perception of ourselves. I was out to dinner with my kids last night. A young man I know, he's a bodybuilder, me and Sean know, a Cedric bodybuilder. And I showed a picture of the kids to show him. I said, you know, God, he's a bodybuilder. I said, I used to work out. I used to work out. And I don't quite like that, but I used to work out, you know. And in my head, thinking, Brian, my mind still got me thinking I still got to work out body. And so I pulled up some pictures from about 20 years ago and showed it to my kids that I'm feeding at the dinner table, and they looked at it and said, who is that? I want to say, don't you eat another bite? A certain way. My wife laughed because the kids didn't even recognize me. I said, that used to be me. They didn't recognize my worth. And I'm going to tell you, some of you feel you have been looked over or even laughed at. But God sees something in you that other folks will eventually miss. I stopped by to tell you, because your daddy went to prison does not mean you got to go spend time in jail. Because your mama gave you up does not mean you got to be given up. Because your mama or grandmama had babies without a husband does not mean that has to be your testimony. You got to understand what others don't see in you does not matter as long as God can see the best in you. Do I have anybody in the building so glad that God saw enough in me to give me another chance? He didn't kill some of you while you were driving drunk. Didn't kill you while you were smoking dope. Didn't kill you while we was at other folks' houses. God has given us another chance. I wish somebody would not shame enough to say, I'm glad he loved me enough, saw something in me, that he spared my life, that I'm still here. I'm Thaddeus. Anybody's Thaddeus here? He saw something in me. Some folks that say you shouldn't be where you are, you should amount to nothing, but God sees the best in us. And now you gotta understand, and I had to give my kids, they made me understand that that's not me anymore. And so I had to realize that everything that I see in me may not be like it used to be. That's when Isaiah said, I'm a man of unclean lips. I'm hanging around people of unclean lips. He went on to say, my righteousness is filthy rags. See, some of us think we got it together, but you need to take another look. Paul even said, the good that I would do, I wouldn't do. I have not apprehended. So when you think you still look like you used to look, go find a three-way mirror and it'll show you all your stuff. Many times you see yourself as having it together, you got it together. But I stopped by to tell you, none of us got it together. None of us are where we should be. None of us are where we ought to be. But I'm here to tell you, I know somebody should shout with me, I sure thank God I'm not what I used to be. So people may not recognize your worth. But God used somebody like Nicole to bring folks to church. Amen. Nicole didn't go to Savannah State, but she'll sit on the street corner and tell everybody about the Lord. Every time I get in and out my car, hey, pastor, and the whole block know pastor. I don't know none of them, but they all know pastor because Nicole sit there and talk about pastor. in you, and you wonder why you're on that job. God got you there for a reason. You wonder why you're in this relationship. God got you there for a reason. There's something in you that God finds valuable. But don't try to find it yourself. You're working for God. Number three. So not only will people may not know your name, but Jesus does. And number two, people may not recognize your worth, but God does. Number three, as we look here, number three, people may not recognize your efforts, but Jesus does. Yeah. The worst thing to do is work and nobody say thank you. Because it was cold in here last couple of weeks, it wasn't because Deacon Bradley and the trustees weren't trying to warm it up. It was cold outside. And this sanctuary is bigger than your living room. See, your power bill may be $500 a month, but the power bill here is $5,000 a month. Yeah. And it takes a lot to warm up the sanctuary. And so when it snow outside, ice on the street, and we didn't know it was going to really come like that, it takes a lot to warm up a building like this. And because here in Savannah, it may be cold today and hot tomorrow. But you got to understand, it does not mean he didn't work. Sometimes people don't see your efforts. You work hard on a committee and nobody tell you thank you. And the only thing they can point out is my name wasn't on the program. I gave $3. People don't feel hundreds of bags that take to people that need food, and you pick out one person that even came by the church house and say, you didn't go see my cousin here. Listen, if we mix your cousin in, you should have came help pack some bags and say, run by my cousin in house. They may never recognize your effort, but I stop by to tell you, God sees everything that you do. So when you sing, make sure you're not singing for the applause. When you preach, you're not preaching for the amen. When you help, you're not helping for the pats on the back. Rather, we doing it that God can say, well done. Don't have anybody in the building say, you may not recognize it. I work around the house. The children don't appreciate it. My husband don't appreciate it. The wife don't appreciate it. I stop by to tell you, you keep on doing what you're doing. That's a reward with your name on it. Don't have anybody in the building that say, you may not know my name, but I know somebody that know my name. You may never call my name, but when I'm down and out, he whispers sweet voice and tell me it's going to be all right. You don't have to know my name. You may know me as Quentin. You may know Tremont. You may know Reverend Martin, but I got somebody say, that's my child. You don't have anybody here. They say, Reverend, you're not the only one. We got the same dad because he looks and says hi, and he looks slow. He made waves out of nowhere. He opened blinded eyes. He raised the dead. He can walk on water. He can feed 5,000 with 2 fish and 5 loaves of bread. And if he can do all those things, I know he knows my name. Don't have anybody in the building that's been down and out, and God will call your name. Anybody know you're up from the down, and God will call your name. How you know he called your name? When you woke up this morning, it wasn't a time clock. It wasn't a alarm clock. God called your name. When God put your one foot down and you can drag the other, don't you know God has already called your name? Anybody been sick and now you well? God will call your name. Anybody had no bills and money, but you still got all your stuff, God will call your name. Anybody been in trouble and you made it out of trouble, God will call your name. So you don't have to praise God, but about 5 of us in here can shout the glory because God has called our name. I'm just like that. You may not know much about me, but God sees something deep that everybody else don't see. So you can look at my flaws, you can follow my mistakes, but I got a God that'll call my name one day and say, well done. Thou good and faithful servant. Come on up where the streets are paved in gold. Come on up where the walls are made of jasper.
Come on up a little higher with the 12 gates. Come on up with the 24 elders and the 3 beasts. Anybody get ready for God to call your name? If you know God one day is going to call your name, you ought to praise him in advance. What you're going through, praise his name. Trials in your life, praise his name. Sickness in the body, praise his name. When God calls your name, he gives you joy. I'm not talking about play joy. I'm talking about a joy that the world can't give to you, and the world can't take it away. Do I have anybody in the building that say, I may not have money, but I got joy? I may not have friends, but I got joy. I may not have the best of health, but I got joy. And this joy I have, you can't take it away, because Jesus gave me joy when he gave it to you. One Friday night on a hill called Calvary, when they whipped it from the 6th to the 9th hour, he gave us joy. When he looked down and said, Father, forgive them for they know not what they do. He gave us joy when he hung there from the 6th to the 9th hour. Dropped his head in the lock of his shoulder, but joy really came early on Sunday morning when he got up and said, all power in heaven and earth is in my hand. So whatever you need, God got it. So what does God see when he sees you? I'm going to tell you, we put the best on the outside. And brother, a lot of people dress up the outside, but they just cover pain and hurt. Some of y'all took 30 minutes to get dressed, to look good on the outside. You got all type of makeup on, and I thank God for makeup. But people do stuff to fix the outside. All type of other stuff on. That outside look all right. If I'm talking about you, look straight ahead. Took 30, 40 minutes in the mirror to look good on the outside. But if God don't know your name, it don't mean a thing. Mama didn't have to call me by my name. She could call me anything, but I knew to call, it was my name. And if you had siblings like I have, Mama would call all the other children names, except the one she was calling, but she'll look right at you, and you can play stupid if you want to. She said, boy, I know your name, my name, go do what I told you to do. Listen, it doesn't matter how he called you, as long as God called you. See, that wasn't Peter, James, and John. They go into the upper room with him and go down the Mount of Transfiguration. They walk in when they hear Jairus' daughter, but Jesus still called his name from the mountaintop. And when he gave him power to go out and preach the gospel, and we don't hear about Thaddeus healing folks, but it could have been done because verse 6 and 7, he said, gave him power over serpents and demons. See, when God calls your name, he gives you power to do things that other folks can't do. Amen. So today, my challenge to you is to make sure Jesus know your name. Amen. Give God a hand praise as we prepare for altar call as Dr. Jones will come. And give our altar call, we prepare for baptism as Dr. Jones will walk down and do the altar call from the floor as my deacons come.
Amen.